get the feeling like she actually loves the man she's here with.
If you want to go talk, don't be mean.
You're an affectionate person.
Yeah.
You like to cuddle.
I do. I like to cuddle.
Would you cuddle with me though?
It's really sad that every year you get a couple that are there just to hook up with someone. And to me, that couple seems to be Brian is there to hook up with someone. And it seems Rhea is going to be that person that he hooks up with if he manages to couple up with her. But I have a feeling, given the way Lisa reacted, the producers might not want them to couple up as much as it would make for great TV. I think they would rather not have that train wreck. And so I hate how Lisa's behaving or how she's coming across. Why do we always have to have this negative image of women? We don't really need this. But anyway, I digress. Hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, leave a comment, and turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos. We're still trying to get to 1,000. In this episode, I'll be reviewing The Ultimatum, Marry or Move On, Season 2, Episode 1. So, it's another year, it's another episode of The Ultimatum. And personally, I understand the concept behind the show, but I don't understand whether these people actually come onto the show with the sole purpose of finding out whether they're ready or not, or whether they just do it just because they want to be on reality TV. Because last season we had 5 couples, and I think Madeline and Kobe are the ones that got married. Randall and Shanique are engaged. They were engaged, they broke off, and now they're engaged again. And the rest, they've just become influencers. And I don't know whether people go on it for the right reasons. Anyway, this year we've got another 5 couples. We have Antonio and Roxanne. They've been dating for 4 years, and Antonio is the one who issued the ultimatum. Lisa and Brian have been together for 2 years, and Lisa's the one who's issued the ultimatum. Ryan and James are high school sweethearts who've been dating for 7 years. And you've got Rhea and Trey who've been dating for 2 years, and Trey's the one who's issued the ultimatum because he says everything is ready and he's ready to get married. And lastly, you've got Kate and Alex. They've been dating for 2 years. Kate has issued an ultimatum, but Alex wants to be happy-go-lucky. He still wants to date around. Anyway, they meet up with Nick and Vanessa and are advised of the concept of the show and how it works and how it will work, in the sense that they will spend a night together, then they will break up officially as a couple, and they will then date other people for the week, and at the end of the week they have to decide who they want to couple up with. And from there they live for 3 weeks with their new partner, and 3 weeks with the partner that they came into the experiment. And then after that they have to decide who they feel is the right partner. And for me, I can already see people eyeing somebody else and going, oh, that would make a better optional alternative. So I don't know, we'll see. So the couples are sitting and having a conversation with their partner on the last night. First we have Kate and Alex. Kate and Alex need to break up. They don't need even the ultimatum. They just need to break up and go their separate ways. Because though Kate issued an ultimatum, yeah, what she says makes sense, that I love you even when you're old and bald and you've got a belly and stuff, I will still love you. But there needs to be more to that conversation. Alex seems like he enjoys having a girl on his arm and just traveling the world. That's the impression that he gives me. I don't know if the ultimatum is going to do anything for him except maybe tell him that Kate is not the one, and I'm not sure whether Kate is ready for that. And then we have Ryan and Trey. Oh, poor thing. I think she needs therapy. Because Trey, what he's offering her doesn't seem to. I don't think he'll ever be able to do anything that will be good enough for her. Because apparently he laid out this, massive spread for her for Valentine's, and then she complained that it wasn't similar to what she had seen on TikTok. He's watched his parents be married for 30 years. She comes from situationships and divorce. So for her, it's very difficult to compute from that to suddenly becoming a married couple. They have a conversation with him, sort of asking her, what is it you want? Because I want to marry you. You are it for me. And she sort of starts off by saying, well, I want a career. Because he said, I got you an amazing car. I used to go out, I used to enjoy life. And when we got together, I slowed down and I began to focus on the two of us. She complains she doesn't want to be looked after. She says she might not want to have children. And it's like, that's a big decision. it just doesn't come about as a result of the ultimatum. Let him know that you do not want to have children. That way he can make an informed decision of whether this is what he wants. I think he comes across as a great catch. I think any woman would be lucky to have him. And I think if she's not smart enough, Ria, if she loves him, she might lose him. She might really lose him because I don't get where I understand her saying she wants her own career, she wants to be independent financially, but at the same time, for her to keep going on and sort of looking for excuse after excuse after excuse when she's living with Trey doesn't make sense because they're already living together. It's not like they're living apart and she's worried about living with him. They're already living together. Getting married would just formalize that. So I don't understand her excuses as to why she feels she can't get married to him now. Roxanne and Antonia are another couple that I feel need to break up. They've been dating for 4 years. It seems Roxanne is a workaholic, and Antonio is not clear whether he's not a workaholic or whether he's just not that motivated. Because Roxanne is saying, I have a lot of goals. I want someone who's as hardworking as I am. And it's like, do you two plan on having children then? Because if you're both workaholics, who's going to look after the family? Make it make sense. I think they need to split up because I couldn't quite understand their reasons for why they issued the ultimatum, apart from the fact that one is very hardworking and feels that her partner is not as hardworking as she is. Antonio, on his part, I didn't understand his reasoning. And then you have Lisa and Brian. Lisa and Brian, I think their issue is age because Lisa's 31 and Brian, I think, is 28. Lisa, on her part, is worried because she is a woman and she's 31 and she's got a biological clock. She wants to have children, so she wants to be married before she has the children. She also wants to buy a home. She earns a six-figure salary, so she can afford to buy a home, but obviously doesn't want to buy a home if they're not married. And Brian is very nonchalant about it. Being a man, he doesn't have a biological clock, so he's not really worried about that. And I don't know whether he lacks the maturity to understand what Lisa's saying or whether he's just not Lisa's person and she might need to move on because I don't quite get their statements and I don't quite get why they can't seem to understand where the other person is coming from, given the fact that they've been dating for 2 years. You'd expect in 2 years for them to understand because Lisa was saying that with your timeline, I would have to be 40 by the time you're ready to get married. And he would at that point be about 35, 36. And so I get where she's coming from. And it's sad that he doesn't sort of seem to understand where she's coming from. Sorry, he would be about 36, yeah. So I don't know. I think they need to break up. I think if Lisa's really serious about getting married, she might be better off with someone like Trey. Maybe she needs to couple up with Trey and sort of try that out and see if it actually works. And I have a feeling that Brian and Rhea are going to cry if those two actually kick things off and decide to date and get married. But we'll see what happens. Oh, Lisa in the early hours of the morning wakes up saying that she wants to go home. And it's like, get it together. Get it together. This is the reason why he's doing what he's doing because he knows you're stuck on him and you won't leave him regardless of what he does. And in the morning, Brian is sort of saying to her, I want you to work on your reaction when I'm dating other people. You know how you behave. And it's like, how does she behave? What do you mean you know how you behave? It's making me ask a lot of questions about the two of you. Is she that possessive? What is going on with the two of you? They make me nervous. They really do. They really do. So we'll see how that works out. And then you have Ryan and James. Ryan and James are childhood sweethearts. They've been dating for 7 years. They seem really cute, but the problem is James is not yet ready, or he says he's not yet ready because he wants to make sure everything is in place before they get married. I think he said he's been at school for 5.5 years because they started dating at 16. So he's trying to sort of secure a life for them before he can propose. And it seems Ryan is really not that bothered about whatever is going on. All she just wants is him to make a commitment to her because she's already spent 7 years of her life with him. He's her first boyfriend. She's never dated anyone before. So I would be heartbroken if they broke up. I have high hopes for them. I have high hopes because of their history. They seem non-toxic, but hey, we'll see what happens. So everybody's now single and they go on dates. And a couple of dates stood out for me because you have Rhea and Brian. Brian, I think, is more looking for the furnishings, as in he's looking for a beautiful girl who's got a banging body, blah blah blah. Because he says right off the bat he's attracted to Rhea, and it's like, why? This is not why you're here. You can find a person you're attracted to on the outside world. You need to be looking for, a deeper connection to see if there is something there that's better, not just because you're attracted to them physically, but what else is on the inside that might attract you. I didn't like that, but I was pleasantly surprised. Pleasantly surprised to see how well Rhea got on with James, because it seems they share the same background. They're both brought up by single mothers. They spent a lot of time on their own. And so they bonded over that. And they seemed very comfortable, because at first I was worried. I really was worried for James, because his date with Kat was very awkward. So I was worried whether he was going to be able to speak to anyone. So Trey had a conversation with Ryan. They come from the same town. They bonded over that. They bonded over their favorite place to go and eat. They bonded over the fact that they both issued the ultimatum. And so I think this is something that Trey was looking for. He wanted to find out why the other person issued the ultimatum and sort of learn from them. I think sort of get validation for himself to say that he's not over exaggerating. And then he went on a date with Lisa. He was really looking forward to that. He was really looking forward to that. And it was pleasantly surprising to see how relaxed Lisa became. Because when Brian was on a date with Rhea, you could tell she was very nervous. She was very nervous. She was actually telling Antonio that she was nervous. She kept looking over her shoulder. And it's like, you really don't need to do too much. But they seemed to bond with Trey. They really did, because they seem to have a lot of things in common. They seem to have a greater understanding of what the other person is wants in a relationship. So I don't know. Hopefully they couple up and they see if they're in the right couple, or whether it's time for them to move on. And then Kat sat down with Antonio. I really don't know what Antonio wants. Apparently, he used to work in McDonald's when he first met Roxanne. So he's really saying he's now in a place whereby financially he's ready, emotionally he's ready to get married, and I'm a bit nervous. Have Alex and Roxanne sit down for a chat. I think they will get along better, because they seem more, I don't want to say self-centered, but they seem more focused on themselves and their goals, and they're not really sort of looking at a bigger picture, which includes a partner or children. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. If they do couple up, I have a feeling they're going to be very toxic. I have a feeling that they're going to be very toxic, and they're going to butt heads. What they like about one another is what is going to drive them insane and make them appreciate their partners. But I might be wrong. Anyway, in the evening, everybody meets up, and there's, at a mixer, and they're sort of curious to find out who was somebody's best date. And Lisa is the first to say, oh, Brian, who did you enjoy your date with? And Brian, the guys immediately tell him not to say anything, because they don't want him to get in trouble, because one is going to offend not only his partner, but also the other girls that he might have an opportunity with, which makes sense to me. So Lisa said she enjoyed her date with Antonio, which doesn't make sense to me, given the fact that I thought her date with Trey went way better. Ryan says she connected with Trey and they have a lot in common, so she really enjoyed that. Rhea, on her part, said she had two options that she connected with, but she really connected with Brian. And for me, it's like, no, I think they have more of a sexual chemistry than anything else. We didn't get to hear who everybody else connected with, so it doesn't make sense. And then you have Lisa sort of freaking out and telling Roxanne that she's worried because she sees Rhea and Brian having a conversation, and she really likes Brian. She loves him, and so she doesn't like the idea of him speaking to Rhea. She thinks that Rhea is there because she doesn't like her man. And I sort of get the impression that Rhea enjoys the lifestyle that Trey provides her. I don't know whether she's really in love with him, or it's more of the fact that she likes the life that he gives her, or the life that he affords her. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out in the end. And so they have a conversation, and in the middle of their conversation, Lisa just storms across, and she sort of is very disruptive. I think this is why Lisa and Brian were brought into the show. I think they are going to be the toxic couple this season because she starts kicking off. She doesn't like the idea that Brian is talking to Rhea. She tells Rhea to her face that I don't think you like the person that you came with. I love the man that I brought here, so I don't think you like your man that you came with, and I think you just here just for the attention. And it's like, wait, that's a bit too below the belt. So Rhea eventually walks off, and I don't know whether Lisa is doing this for the drama or whether she wants the to be at the front of the show or whether she really is in her. I think she's in her feelings to some extent, but the fact that she had to sort of push her face into Brian's face, I didn't like that. I felt that was a bit too much, and I'm surprised the producers didn't stop it. And she storms off, and everybody feels awkward because it's really uncomfortable for everyone, including myself watching. And I don't know what's going to happen in the next episode, but I hope she pulls it together. She's an amazing girl. It's a pity she's behaving the way she's behaving, but we'll see how that plays out. Thanks, guys, for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Bye, everyone.